We are returning once more to this, the most beautiful country in the world. The most beautiful. Look at it, the Netherlands. Can you imagine something more beautiful than this? I don't think anything can replicate just how glorious the Netherlands, at least our Netherlands, is. And we are fighting Wari. Meanwhile, our war exhaustion is still not going down, so maybe because we're at war. But we will need to get that down soon to help the country in every way possible, because war exhaustion does give some nasty, nasty stuff to our country, negatives of all kinds, and that doesn't help at all. Plus it makes our people very, very sad. So we will have to quicken up this war. We also have a potential war over here with Senussi that we could take over. It would cut down the Egyptian Desert Turkish Socialist Republic down, and maybe we would have to fight them and get that, but we are actually allied with them. What kind of allies do we actually have? We're allied with Carly Spain, Denmark, Scandinavia essentially, Belgium, Bulgaria and Serbia. It's a ragtag group of friends. Really, really ragtag. What do the people want now? We do have all kinds of nationalists and mean people running around. Our nationalists are not happy that they lost the war previously. But I think that everyone will be happy for acceptable healthcare. I think that's where it is at. How many? Okay, 9.9% of our populations are bureaucrats. For maximum administrative efficiency, we need at least 2.1%. I assume that has to include our colonial holdings as well. There's no doubt about that. Can we now demand this area? We cannot. We need to take the last bit too. That is fine because we can. We can do that. We are now losing in Vadai, which we will not, even though we don't really have a choice. Cost of investment 50. But we will hold out as long as possible to just, well, be mean, I suppose. There's not much else to colonize in the universe. We could probably, well, they're fighting over here, Britain and Japan. Speaking of Japan, one thing I just noticed, over here in Java, they are expanding their influence. Well, not really expanding, but they are friendly with Java, which doesn't really help. Plus, Java has 236 brigades. Holy shit! 236. That's like all of the Javanese are up at arms still after the revolution that brought them freedom. I suppose that's the only way that they will maintain that freedom. The militancy is rising in our country. I don't know why though. I mean, sure, the whole war exhaustion thing doesn't really help, I assume, but it's still a bit silly. Okay, so now at least we got that done, so will our war exhaustion lower? It will lower, but it will take basically 35 months, so it will take 3 years to get back to pre-war state there. So we'll just have to hold out. Militancy is rising really, really quickly, which will probably push through some reforms as well, so it's not all bad, but it's still not ideal. We could go for electricity, which would be good, especially in our colonial holdings. Not that they specifically need. Wait, why are we not allied with you anymore? Did you cancel the alliance? Oh no, don't tell me there's a crisis now. And Russia... oh, apparently they lost... wait. Northern Macedonia. Oh, okay, so it wasn't even involving them. It was Bulgaria claiming Northern Macedonia from Serbia. That's fine. We will go and ally Montenegro now, because we're allied actually with Bulgaria. So we have a pretty strong alliance over here with Turkish Republic, Bulgaria and, well, Montenegro. Montenegro not part of the strong word, or part of the sentence. We can recruit more men in Africa, mainly, and some in Asia. Those in Asia will be essential, so we will make some artillery and infantry over there. Should be fine. Luxembourg was an alliance. Apparently everyone is calling into a war. Portugal wants an alliance again. What happened to all of our alliances? Did they just die out? Okay, Serbia and Bulgaria are at each other's throat. So we will see who's the strongest. Show wars, Serb liberation of Northern Macedonia, and Serbia has a German Empire, and oh, it's a proxy war. Interesting, interesting. Who will we join here? We will probably join Serbia because, well, but who will win between Russia and the other ones? Russia has an army tech of 9 and German Empire has an army tech of 20. Okay, so we will join Serbia. Serbia has a German Empire on their side, so we will join the German Empire. I have no interest in fighting against Germany, no interest whatsoever, and Germany is actually really strong because they have been mobilized now for a very long time trying to defeat Italy in retaking Fiume. It's not really going their way though, needless to say. If I die, we will definitely lose, but we will be a douchebag and uphold, or no, make them have to wait a little bit. Over here we have Belgian communists in Tigray, which could release a country, maybe Tigray, who knows, and that in turn would be good for us. People over here, what do they want? Well, we could push through a reform, or we could wait. We could go for transportation here. Will that calm people down? I mean, we pushed down a reform. Well, this is good. Men for the colonies. They would give a baby boom event in Zealand, which would be pretty nice. This one will give a population growth in Moluccas, assimilation rates, life rating, everything like that. I think we want the people in the homeland more than we wanted in Moluccas, so we will go for baby boom over here in Zealand. Actually, well, Zealand is actually pretty big, so it should be fine. That should give us some more Dutch people, which will be valuable. Wait, what is these ships? Oh, the German ships. Oh, interesting. They're docking in our country. Speaking of ships, where are their fleet? I think this is about damn time for our fleet to return. In fact, we will first do a quick reorganization and put over the men of war and commerce raiders to be left over here. Those will be left to the colonial fleet, and the rest of them, the rest of the bastards, will be returning home to the Netherlands, where we will give them a few more monitors to keep them happy. Alliance offer from Albania, which is fine. But I do like how basically one of the biggest conflicts have erupted now due to essentially Serbia and Bulgaria getting down each other's throats. Not looking good for Serbia in that regard though, but at least Germany is kicking ass. Germany is really showing their strength at the moment, fighting against what is deemed to be the second greatest power, military power, that is, in the world. I haven't really heard a peep from Morocco one way or another. They haven't really shown any intention of independence or any kind of revolt at all. So I assume that now we can't pass between these two areas, which is a shame. But at least we have some more guys over here, and we have these guys, infantry. They will be sent to the main army over here. And that should give a fairly decent one. Are we the leader of this war? We are the leader of the war. Interesting, 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 very interesting. How would we become the leader of the war? Oh well. Okay, acquire Northern Macedonia would be what they would give that up. Is there anything we want from Russia that Russia can give us in this conflict? I mean, we are fighting Montenegro as well. Do we want Montenegro? No. Is there anything we can, like, can we add war goal? We can. Could I go for, like, take Montenegro? We want Montenegro. Can we go for Montenegro? It'd be like, hey, Montenegro, we want you. Can we could go for making them our puppet. That would cost us a hell of a lot. But we could even conquer them outright. So is there anything Russia can give us? Anything at all? No? Nothing, really. Oh, I wish this was against Britain. That would be so much more... It would be so much more better. It would be so much better. So what have everyone put down? Acquire Northern Macedonia. We could add war goal here for, like, release puppet. Finland. Oh, they are actually puppet of Russia. That is true. We could demand that. It would only cost us 2.5 and humiliate. There we go. That is ideal. If we win this, we will get prestige, which will boost us up. We will add humiliate Russia. And we won't even have to fight for it. That's brilliant. Probably the smartest thing I've come up with in the past day or so. Which isn't really saying a lot. Have they arrived yet? No, they are on their way. Now we can actually send some more support here for Vadai, as well as create protectorate here. So now we're actually done with Africa, you could say. But we need to unite it, so we need to take areas from Italy. We need to have a war with Italy, basically. Somehow. And the Germans have managed to get some troops to Istria, but they are losing the battle. Mainly because most of the Germans are over here fighting. So could we go for a peace? They would accept this, actually. Which is good. Is there anything else we can do for the glory of our realm? We could, for example, you know, cut down to size. That would not make people happy. We could dismantle fortification somewhere. That costs way too much for what it actually is. Because most of the time when you have dismantled fortification, you would just outright take the area and you would get the fortifications too. Alright, let's see how much prestige we will get from this. We have 162 right now. That was very poor. Very, very poor. But sure. Fine. It's more than nothing. It's more than nothing. Now we don't have to worry about that. Especially since our war exhaustion still needs to go down and we're getting caught up in silly wars all the time. So this army is now done. We probably want to delete one of the undermanned brigades. Here we go. It's by no means a really good one. Let's see, Lanfang. Who is Lanfang and what can they do? Yeah, Lanfang, they're protected by the Japanese and we have no way of projecting power enough to defeat the Japanese in war. Let's see. Well, they don't have many ships. That's one thing. The Japanese have no chips. They have no ships at all. Or very few of them at least. So if we could try to send some more troops, if we could collect these troops and just send them here, we could actually do something fun with it. So yeah, I think we will actually go for this and take over Lanfang. But then we would get caught up in a longer war with Japan. Hey, let's do like this. Wait, that's loss of prestige or gain of infamy. This would last for 2 years. Perhaps our war exhaustion would be down in 2 years. So we will go for it. The main thing is that I don't want to have the war exhaustion in a prolonged war, even if it doesn't really increase the war exhaustion. We would be stuck with 30 war exhaustion, for example, for ages. Italian Africa, they are really fighting over here to maintain it. Or expand it, rather. Alright, do we have any movements that are strong? Not really, so we can wait. Belgium, what happened? What happened, my man? Why did we lose the alliance with you? You're my best friend. My best friend since... basically since the start of the game. We had a bit of a rivalry, as we usually tend to have. But we got over it, and we improved from there. Cut the German Empire down to size. That's very, very aggressive of them. Gotta say, very aggressive. They have very few brigades. They have fewer than we do. But they have a lot of power, or rather points. They have... oh god, they're so far ahead. They're so far ahead. How could we ever be a great power in the past? It seems really not really possible, looking back at it. When is the next level of technology? It's not very soon. We can go for Impressionism. There's some prestige involved in it, and we need all prestige we can get. Banat wants an alliance. That's too dangerous. Banat is too dangerous. They might as well join Serbia at this point. 12-hour workday. Well, now they suddenly became... I mean, the militant socialist I want to avoid, the Dutch communist I want to avoid as well. Common school movements. We will go for acceptable schools. And we can't really afford this investment. I think we have lost Vadai. We'll have to take it in glorious warfare. So have the people calm down now a little bit. No, the Dutch communists are still fairly strong. But they are weakening. Actually weakening quite drastically now. Good. Get away, Dutch communists, we don't like you. Sudanese nationalists, they are also getting weaker. Vari nationalists are getting drastically weaker. So I think we've appeased them for now. And perhaps with war exhaustion being a bit lower, things can become a little bit better as well. But our militancy and consciousness levels are still high, and I don't like it. So we will build more factories. That's our answer. Build more factories. And railroad. Railroad in our new territory. That sounds like a good plan. Come on. Get more money. They can handle it from now. So our military, this army is more... This will have to do. I mean, this is a colonial army, it doesn't really matter too much. Plus, they keep dying all the time, and it's just such a pain. They will be assigned to the northern reaches of... Also like that they kind of default onto the Nile route. Well, mostly. Which is the most sensible one. Banat, we don't want an alliance with you, Banat, we told you before. We can recruit even more soldiers now, a lot of them in Africa. And in Wadi, for example. In the new territories. So we will try to establish a different army there. Or at least, okay, so here we go, with the ones we know in Wadi. Such as this one. This will be an engineer, and this one will be a hussar. The rest of them will be various kinds of infantry, and artillery, and one hussar more. That was actually Maghreb even. And what can we recruit in Europe? More people, mainly. We have an army now of 18. That one would need an engineer, a hussar, and I assume one more artillery. Which should be fine for the size it is right now. So we're just recruiting everyone that we can recruit into the army. We're not getting too many points from it, but we need more men. We definitely need more men. Lanfang, we still have an option to deal with you. But we need lower war exhaustion still. Denmark wants an alliance. I don't know why all alliances keep dying. Is anyone protecting this country, for example? Well, United States apparently is. And the Brits. And the Ratatakanaka country is in... It's in Japanese sphere. Damn Japanese. They are actually on the 5th place. So who is in the global stage of the world? Who is the most powerful nation in the world? And so forth. United Kingdom is the greatest power in the world, unsurprisingly. Followed by the German Empire, and France, United States of America, Japan, Italy, Russia, Austria-Hungary. And then this Denmark, actually. What the hell? That is shocking. Denmark, apparently, kind of randomly showed up there. I suppose we need more expressionism to counter this. We need to express our anguish. We'll wait a bit. Come on, the Dutch communists, again, we are pushing through so many reforms. What are you mad at? How can you be mad? Let's go for incarceration. Incarceration is fine. Austria-Hungary is not. We don't like you. And we don't want to deal with you. What rebels are these? Militant socialists of which country? Belgium is actually going to lose that. Perhaps we can send in the army to help them? They are mobilizing for it. Did they? Or did I see wrong with the 98th brigades there? I must have. Oh well. Some more ships then. Some more monitors in Europe. Leeuwarden. Montenegro wants an alliance. That is fine. We're apparently not getting our transport ships. Which is a darn shame. Why aren't they being built? Well, we're not able to buy Clipper convoys, clearly. Perhaps if we switch out the type then. If we get rid of all the Clipper transports and make steam transports instead. Let's start over. One in Brunei, one in each. There we go. Let's try steam transports instead, since we have factories that can make them. Or at least in theory, we have factories that can make them. There we go. So now you should have some more work. Be happy. No employees though. Probably because there's no one working in this area at all. We have no workers. But you should at least be able to buy some, right? Alliance from Bulgaria, they apologize. I mean, they've forgiven us for not helping them previously, which is pretty big of them, I must admit. Pretty surprised. And look what a great call it was to not involve ourselves in Austro-Hungarian business. Look at what they're doing right now. Fighting with Germany. We could have been the ones having to deal with that, but we're not now. They're fighting against Germany for the restoration of order to the Banat provinces and whatnot. And now we don't have to deal with it. What we now can witness is Guangdong trying to reunite China as it was. They are declaring war on the... Is it the Qing Empire or the Qing Empire, whatever? The King. Let's call it the King. They're declaring war on the King. Acquire South Hunan. And they are in a pretty good position to actually push through there. The King is not very stable. In fact, they have... What? Okay. Alright. Pause. Can somebody explain to me? Can somebody explain to me how our military power dropped just like that? To our soldiers and army is being counted for 0.175. How is that possible? How is that possible? We lost so many, like we were over 100 military power before, but now suddenly we lost all of it. Why? How is that possible? How is that counted? Is it the political party that's in the problem? Like if we go for the Nationalist Party instead? What if we do like that and then increase our military spending? All our military spending to max. Oh, suddenly our military power is much higher. Well, I suppose I suppose that was the answer. I see all of you rebels over here. I see you Dutch communists. I also offer you rehabilitation. Is that fine? Is that good? Let's see here. We need... How many bureaucrats in this country again? Can I see how many we do have? Just, easily. Firm bureaucrats... Yeah, it should be fine. Speaking of bureaucrats... What was I going... How... In which direction was I going with that sentence? Speaking of bureaucrats... I don't know. It's just... how about we just demolish that factory then? It's not profitable. They don't have workers enough for 2 factories. Let's just destroy that factory as well. God damn it. These islands cannot... have more than 1 factory at the same time. It doesn't work. But our liquor factory should be doing fairly nicely, but they don't have enough people working in them. But at least, I mean, this whole baby boom thing that we had in, or we still do actually in Zeeland, is giving us some nice new Dutch people to throw around with. Somehow we cannot get luxury clothes even, so we can't get these hussars. Can't even buy small arms. Our military is in shambles. We need to become great power. Perhaps an Austro-Hungarian defeat will grant us the power to become a great power. Italian Africa has taken Vadai and everything like that. So these 2 Dutch areas are, in fact, separate, even though they really shouldn't be. Oh, nice. I like that. I like that this colonial conflict now. It is becoming a world war between these two nations. Well, we can get, for example, time-saving measures or positivism. Sure, might as well. Might as well get the baseline done. And we can probably increase our speed. And we are... Oh, another one. Friesland. Get more craftsmen for me, if you will. And I think we're given up Lanfang. We can establish a protectorate there until 1895 in September, but it's not really worth it. Plus, you know, Japan is Japan. Sure, they might not have a very big navy, but does that really matter too much? Oh, actually it does. We could do so much more, but we don't have the transport ships. We're not getting transport ships. So we would have to call for the navy over in our home area over here. Our 8 clipper transports that exists. But that wouldn't really be worth it. Why can't we get steamer convoys? We can't even get full monitors. We need a lot of steamer convoys actually to pull this off. So yeah, we will give it up. Lanfang, we don't need you. What we do want is Java, and we cannot get that either. Apparently they love us. We love each other, Java and them. I mean, Java and us. We love each other and there's no real reason for it. Mass advertising. Plus 25% education efficiency. I like it. I actually like it a lot. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that that was actually under behaviorism, which you can get in 1900. 1900. And biologism you can get at 1850, so Darwinism. I mean, 25% after Darwinism is not that big, but it would still be like if you start with something like India and you just started with a whole technology thing, you might be needing more literacy at 1900. So that could be a decent thing to get. Currently we have a literacy of 98.2%, which is fine. We don't need much more. We really don't. Over here in Vari, everything is just going well. I think like most of the country is self-sufficient at this point. And here we have a fairly big army, in fact. I mean, it's 51,000 men. It's a bit too big to handle itself, but it shouldn't be too big of a problem. Plus we have in Marrakesh here some troops, which we would have to transport to the correct place, but what you gonna do? We can't get these hussars. Phenomenalism. Experimental psychology. Let's head for that too. And that war unfortunately ended, but Austria-Hungary is still at 8th place. Almost 100 points above where we are. So we need a war, we need something to throw us up. Not that we will want to throw up, but we want to be thrown up into the skies. Oh, speaking of being thrown up to the skies, we can scramble for Africa over here in Gondar. That is an interesting thing that just happened with stuff being made. Let's see, is anyone here involved? No. Anyone involved here in Ausa? Not there either. Wonderful. Colonial expansion. Wonderful. Let's declare war on you. Scramble for Africa. Why? Why can't we? What is the reason for not being able to? Oh, we need to pick. Okay. We will declare war then. Should be a cakewalk. They have no army. They won't be able to get an army. And even if they do get an army, we will be able to smash it to pieces. So Gondar, here we come. To murder you. Aksum, Asmara. Yep, Akordat. This is the former Belgian areas. Is there any Belgian left? Have they been able to immigrate any? Doesn't seem like it. Gondor, we can probably... Wait, what? Against Transvaal, what the hell is happening? Portuguese and the United Kingdom are fighting against Transvaal. And they want us to help out in this conflict. Sure, we will help out against them. Do they have any allies? No. Is there anyone in the Great Power Sphere? It's actually the British, and they're fighting against the British. Alright, it's fine, we can go against Transvaal. Speaking of things... Oh, our work source is down. So we have managed that. We should probably add here against Gondor another war goal for Established Protectorate. Should be fine. It does cost us some infamy though, but what doesn't? And 6-3 prestige. How much prestige will we get from this war? Like 3 or 5 actually. So we have more colonial holdings now, wonderful, and we have now Ausa to be added as well, and at some point we need to have a war with Italy. But that will be for another time, another episode, another opportunity. We have established Dutch Africa as the dominant power in, well, this general region I suppose, and along the Nile. We actually control almost the entire Nile area, at least the Nile that matters. I mean the Nile over here doesn't really matter too much. But we will continue next episode with trying once again to become great power. It might take a while though, considering Austria-Hungary is so much bigger than us and we only have this little area over here. But it will be a project worth pursuing, I'm sure. I hope you've enjoyed and hope to see you next time. Have a good one.